This is the future.
Before we start this video, I would like to announce that I will be giving platinum prizes bi-weekly in this channel from now on, courtesy of Digital Extremes. As part of the creator program, the developer has given us some prizes, such as platinum and prime access to give away to our community. Right now, all you need to do is go to the link that I have provided in the pinned comment to join the platinum giveaway. I will be selecting 2 winners, and I will announce them this coming Monday. Good luck to everyone, and now, let's get into the video. I am not joking when I said that one of the best augments is coming this year. The best part is, all Warframes can use this. In the most recent dev stream, Digital Extremes announced that they will be adding more augments in the game in the next big update. To be more specific, they will be adding augments for Frost, Grendel, Gauss, and Yarili. So which among them is the best augment you are talking about, squad leader? I'll tell you in a bit. But for now, let me tell you about these augments and what they can do to these Warframes. First, let's talk about the most problematic for me among the bunch, and that is Grendel's Ormond augment. When you have this in Grendel, you will consume 200 health in casting his feast ability instead of the usual energy consumption. Then, instead of consuming energy again, the ability will now consume health per second to keep all the enemies you consume within your belly. Take it as Necro's Despoil augment that converts energy consumption to health drain. However, it's worst for Grendel. Why? It's because first of all, Grendel is not like Necros that can bring out loot from dead enemies. Because of Necro's Desecrate ability, he can maintain his health to maximum as enemies will drop health orbs that you can use to maintain your health values. Most probably, you will get locked into using melee weapons with this or subsuming gloom so that you can regenerate health per hit with your weapon or with your Warframe ability. In fact, it would be interesting if gloom will work for this, since enemies inside your belly get damage over time, and if gloom happens to work with this new augment, then we got ourselves a treat. But the problem here is, would it work with gloom? Will Digital Extremes allow it? Now, I don't know about you, but I'm assuming now that the Ormond augment will be affected by both duration and efficiency. Okay, let's get back to gloom with Ormond. Just imagine how it would be cool if we can reduce the health drain per second of the Ormond augment. Then we might as well have a decent combo with the gloom ability. But then again, there are lots of things to balance in here. We should need to put enough range and then power strength to make both feast and gloom reliable in a real mission. While it's problematic, because I'm a little worried about the cost on Grendel's at first glance. If it's just 30 health, S-flat, then great, but if it increases per enemy and or has a similar increase over time, I can't see it working all that well. His health pool just isn't large enough to sustain that sort of cost. Digital Extremes might as well add this to Inaros. But wait, I'm not finished with the upcoming Grendel augment yet. There's another possible, interesting combo that you can do with this augment in the future, and that is the usual Helminth build. If you don't know about it, then it's the combination of Grendel's Feast, and Gara's Spectro Rage, with the Spectro Siphon ability. Spectro Siphon is the ability you can rely on to maintain Feast with energy, and, just imagine this, if the Ormond augment will work with the Equilibrium mod, then we can also use the energy you get from killing enemies inside the Spectro Siphon. The only problem with this is why you should use the Ormond augment when you can maintain Feast with energy alone and be safe, as there's no health drain per second. To be honest, Grendel's new augment is a mixed bag of goodies. There's a part of me that wants it, but there's also a part of me that finds it problematic. We will see what it really can do once we get our hands with the new augments. Next is Gauss's new augment ability for his Thermal Sunder called Thermal Transfer. The description of this augment is straightforward on what it can do, but pretty vague at what it does in a real mission. It says that it allows allies in range to gain 75% bonus elemental damage for 30 seconds. I get that this is a sort of support augment which will scale with power strength to increase its damage bonus, range possibly, or they can also take advantage of the affinity range, and duration for how long the buff will be. What I don't get is what type of element will it be boosting? Will it only boost the element innate to Thermal Sunder, which are cold, heat, and blast? Or, will it be something different, like it will boost the innate element that a Warframe has, or the element that your allies' weapons have? Because if it works like this, then Fast Boy will be something else, and he could help out in different ways such as Eidolon hunting. If somehow, this ability will boost the elemental damage of not just the Warframes, but also the weapons wielded by your allies. Then it could provide decent DPS support in Eidolon hunting, not to mention that it can also be abused in different ways in the Helminth system. Currently, damage over time elements like heat and electricity can be very lethal if you know how to apply them to enemies. Just think of this: if we can use thermal sunder to boost elemental damage, then just imagine the things you can do with a proboscis Sonos build with electric and viral. It will not just be fascinating, but also could be broken if it will work not just on allies, but also on the caster. And mind you, Thermal Sunder is a subsumable ability that you can apply to any Warframe, so this augment has the potential to be broken. Next is the new augment of Frost called Biting Frost. Among all the augments coming in the new update, Biting Frost is the augment I don't like. Why, squad leader? It gives you a shit ton of critical chance and critical damage, and I think this can even ramp up to 350% or more with power strength builds. The thing is, this augment works on Frost passive ability. I don't like the idea that you need to put an augment mod to Frost so he can gain more critical chance and critical damage to frozen enemies. I mean, Warframe's Effa can have a 150% critical chance just by hanging in the air, while Frost can get a buff only that works in his passive ability if you put one augment mod in your build. It's kind of unfair despite the big damage boost, because Frost, in my opinion, really need to get some rework done. His kit is good, but he lacks those interesting features that new and reworked Warframes have right now. Adding critical chance and critical damage when you equipped an augment is a decent move, but if you take into account that there is a Warframe that has passive which gives out the same buff without putting any augment mod, then you will realize how bad of an augment this is. I can't argue with how this thing works, as I find it similar to Nidus Teeming Virulence augment, but the fact that they made this augment work with Frost passive ability leaves a bad impression about it. Why not just put that as Frost passive, increase damage and the critical chance to frozen enemies, instead of making it an augment? Just saying. And lastly, the Waifu Warframe's augment called Surging Blades for her Aqua Blades. Now, this is the one I'm talking about in the title, and the augment I'm most excited for. As you all know, Aqua Blades is a pure slash-based exalted ability that does decent damage when enemies are hit multiple times by it. It has this unique mechanic wherein at max ability rank, if an enemy receives a trio of hits by Aqua Blades, it receives a total of 2250 slash damage with 3 slash procs on individual timers, dealing a total of 4725 true damage for 6 seconds. Now comes the Surging Blades augment, which allows you to gain 8% extra damage per enemy hit. This will make the DPS of Aqua Blades to a whole new different level and could be lead to one of the top DPS abilities in the game. This is like the case of Baruch, where everyone seems to dub him as a trash Warframe, and then his reactive storm augment came out of nowhere and saved the Warframe. However, Surging Blades augment is better overall when it comes to usability, as Aqua Blades ability, as you know, is a subsumable ability, meaning the Waifu Warframe is not the only one that will be having fun with this new augment, but also your favorite Warframe. Get ready to group and slash the hell out of enemies with Aqua Blades. I really can't wait to try these new augments in the game. Well, I did have a chance to get into the test cluster, but sadly, I wasn't able to test these new augments. What happened during the test cluster is, I ended up replaying the new war and was losing it because I can't exit the quest. I ended up not finishing the public test cluster at all, and I would hope that Digital Extremes would somehow turn the new war replayability into acts. Like, there's a certain part wherein you can pause and get back into the quest if you like. The new war quest is the longest in the game, and sometimes it's a pain replaying it, especially if you already got all the things you need. Now, tell me, what are your thoughts about the new augments coming the next big update? Go share your opinions below, and don't forget to join the giveaway to get a chance to win some platinum. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Squad Leader signing off.
This is the future.